Open government is quite simply about making sure government's accountable to all of us, making sure it's transparent and apparent to all of us, and making sure that the data that government's generating and all the information we're generating is used to be added value to all of us. Data by itself just really have no value. Data that's crunched and analyzed to hold us accountable is amazing. So we have a great first step where now we have applications that tell us, is the bus going to be late or not? But what if we had data that would tell us, why are the buses late? And how do we make them on time? How would that change a city? I heard that if you shorten a bus route and can make it faster by 5 minutes, it'd be adding like 20% more buses on that route, just in one day. By making government more transparent, I thought the mayor took a great first step by listing all the commissioners and who's appointed to what. What if we took that information and partnered with someone like Monster.com and said, hey, don't just put that information out there, help us find the best planning commissioners, help us find the best rec and park commissioners, help us find the best port commissioners, so we can leverage all the amazing talent in San Francisco so we can make all those commissions the very best and most talented people in the city serving us. Lastly, we need to challenge everyone in San Francisco to innovate. It's not enough just to add value. We need to make sure that we are innovating in government. So what if San Francisco was just like DC and we had an app store? But it wasn't enough that we had an app store, but that we went out and we challenged the entire San Francisco Bay Area community to leverage all their knowledge and their expertise to do something not just for only their business, but do something that would make the city better. And challenge them to take our data, to take our information, so that we couldn't just figure out why the buses were late, but how to make the buses run faster. What if we could take that information to figure out how we can make parks cleaner? And what if we could take that information to how to figure out how we could plug more potholes all around town? That's the challenge. It's not enough just to tell us where we're wrong. We need to figure out how we can do things better. And that's what I would challenge everybody in San Francisco, not just city government, but all the innovators there. Gov 2.0 and open government is not just about making San Francisco a little more efficient. It's about radically changing the conversation so that we are conversant not just with one person or two people, but really with the entire city, and leveraging all their knowledge and all their expertise to make the city that much better. So the city can, for the first time, escape the 19th century and join the 21st century. So San Francisco utilizes technology one-to-one right now. Someone may send me an email and then we'll track that information and we'll try and do something about it. Someone may respond, someone may not. We need to not just have a one-to-one communication with technology. We need to be able to dialogue with each other. Like Tim O'Reilly talked about, it's a vending machine. Someone wants a candy bar, they hit the button and they get a candy bar back, if they're lucky. Now what if we switched it from a vending machine model and instead made it a community center? In a community center where people could dialogue and talk to each other all night long. And they could post ideas. And they could share thoughts. But most importantly, they could hold government accountable. They would say, hey, we have 3,000 potholes that we still need to get fixed, and you've only fixed 10 of them. When are the other 299 going to be fixed? So that's the question, really, is with the technology, is how do we make government more of an interface with the citizenry, not just a one-to-one discussion, but a dialogue where we each know what we're talking about and how government is responding not just to one person, but to all of us. Because we all have a lot at stake. We all have something at stake if that pothole is not fixed. We all have something at stake if that school is closed. We all have something at stake if the park can't open on time or if the park's hours are limited. We should all know that information. It shouldn't just be limited to the person who sent in the email. It really should be shared with the entire community. So really, Gov 2.0 is about making San Francisco a community with technology, not just allowing communication. If you think about it, right now the communication is just like a telephone. You pick up the phone, you call somebody, and there's someone on the other line. That's a great first step. But really, why isn't it when you pick up the phone, there's 50 people on the other line, and you're able to talk to 50 people to share about what the best way to fill a pothole is, or what the best way to make sure Muni runs on time, or what's the best way to make sure that parks are open for everyone. That's what we really need. We need to move away from just a call to the city and a hope and a prayer that something will get fixed. We need to be working with each other to make sure that Muni does run better, to make sure that parks are cleaner and safer, and to make sure that potholes are getting fixed all over San Francisco. The top policy that I implement as mayor is to make sure that data is open to everybody in San Francisco. But it's not enough just to have data that's open, because data that's not summarized or crunched or analyzed is almost meaningless to most individuals. We need to work in collaboration with innovators who are willing to not only look at our data, but to do something with the data and to really add value to our citizenry. It's not enough just to have open data published on there, because for most people a 5,000 cell spreadsheet is really not going to make a difference in their life. But that 5,000 cell spreadsheet analyzed so that we can figure out why potholes aren't getting fixed does make a difference. Or where the prices and the values of their homes are going, that would make a difference. So we need to make sure that we have collaboration not just within government, but with government and all the innovators outside of government. Like I talked about earlier, what if San Francisco, like DC, had an app store? What if we're able to take that open data and to challenge all the innovators here in San Francisco to analyze that data and to really add value, not just for their clients, but really for everyone in the city? Could we make government better? Secondly, I think we should have, what was the second one?
Data-driven government. No, sorry. More of us talking and less than government talking at us.
Secondly, we need to make sure that government's not just a landline. That government is communicating not just to one of us, so that they only care that when we make a phone call, they fix that problem for one of us. Because I care that a pothole's fixed on my block even though I didn't call it in. I care that my Muni train runs on time even though I didn't call it in. And I care that my community center is open when I need it even though I didn't call it in. So when things are getting fixed or not fixed, we as a community need to hold government accountable. That information needs to be transparent. So as a community, we are sharing that information with each other, but then we're also getting that information back with each other. Traditionally, what you do is maybe send an email, and then you might get an email back. But then how many of us cared that the end Judah was late yesterday? Probably more than just that one person who filed the complaint. So we really need to use open data, Gov 2.0, to make sure that government is not just communicating with an individual, but is communicating with the entire community. And on top of communicating with the entire community, we need to make sure that the community is communicating with government. That's probably the most important thing. Right now, government almost has no idea what people are thinking outside the few who make complaints to the city. We need to not work with only the people who make complaints, but the people who have ideas. San Francisco is one of the most innovative cities in the entire world. We need to make sure we're taking those ideas and using it in government in our everyday life. Not just thinking about what a great idea that would be if we had more money, but using those ideas in that innovation to really change and alter the way government does business. Gov 2.0 ultimately is about accountability, it's about transparency, and it's about changing the way we not only deliver service, but the way that we talk to people. So that we're not just talking to one person, but we're talking together to all the people of San Francisco at the same time about the same things, but we're also getting that feedback into the city. And by using that feedback into the city, we can now be able to have the best solutions, have the best ideas, not only the ones that government thought of, but really that the people of San Francisco thought of.